Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm going to show you where to locate your brake or clutch on your lawn machine, take it off, fix it, or replace the pads. So this is your machine, MTD, and it's a shift on the go, which means your brake or clutch, this is just a brake then. If it's a shift on the go, it's not a, if you can shift on the go, it wouldn't be a clutch, because the brake, if it was a clutch, you'd have to stop, switch into second gear, and then take off your foot off the brake and keep going. So it would be a brake clutch if it wasn't a shift on the go. But this is just a brake because it's a shift on the go. So this is my baby. I like it. Now what you want to do is first put your parking brake on. I just realized that. I should have done that a long time ago. Okay. So you do that. Okay, now your parking brake's on. You can't move. So you want to get a jack. Find any sort of a jack, and you want to put it on the frame. Now, for you people who don't know what a frame is, it's disappointing, but the frame would be right here. And if you don't know how to locate your frame, you want to go in behind the tire, and there will be a big metal plating. The metal plating, you follow that down until you find the easiest place to put your jack under. So the easiest place for my tractor to put the jack under is right here, because it's part of the frame and it's easy to do. But the bad thing is the transmission right there, that this whole thing right here is a transmission, so I could easily break it. What you never want to do is put your jack under the transmission, because the second you do that and you start jacking up, you could crack it, break it, and that's not good, because then your tractor won't move. You could possibly damage the axle too. So you want to put your jack under the frame. Now this jack came with a pole, but we lost our pole, so now we have to use a screwdriver. We had a push jack, but I was like 6 when I used it. I put it under a tire, and that wasn't good. But right now, we just gotta jack this up. But make sure that your the jack's feet are placed under something sturdy, so it doesn't slip off while you're under it and possibly hurt yourself. So you're just gonna move that up a little, like this, like that. Now we're just gonna lift the jack up. Now I'm gonna set you right here for a sec. Lift the jack up. Come on. There we go. Now, once you've reached your jack's limit, it'll probably drop down and it'll make a clunking sound. Now, I know where my jack's limit is, so I don't have to do that. But I put it up enough so it's at least an inch off the ground. Now, we're going to look under here, right here. See that? This is your brake. Right past your transmission, your brake is right here, because there is a brake disc in behind it. That's where your brake would be located. This is on most tractors, so if it's not here, this is on most tractors. Some tractors might have a different spot. But this is 99% of tractors have the brakes right here, because the transmission is in the back, because most tractors are back wheel drive. And the brake disc, is right here. So what you want to do is you want to unscrew this bolt and that bolt right there. And then once those are unscrewed, that hinge right there, you want to pull that off. Now that's incredibly easy, because it's not too easy for people who are a little weak, but that's okay. But that's part of a spring right there, which you pull off, and then the lever here, or whatever the heck you want to call it, it's oddly shaped for a reason. If you pull it off and it looks broken, it's not broken. It's supposed to look that way. It's bent, it's supposed to look bent. Because, I'll tell you why. When you put on the brake, which is, I don't know if you can see that, I'll zoom in a little. See that little pull right there? That's the brake. And the brake, when you put it down, it's part of the spring, which is right there. The spring goes all the way up to the front. Oh, sorry. This spring right there goes all the way up to the front and pulls down the brake, and then the lever is pulled back and pulls on and pushes onto pins, which pushes on a metal pad or a metal plate, which pushes onto your brake pad, which pushes onto your brake disc, which stops it. Now, what you do is you unscrew this bolt and this bolt, and you unhook that spring up there. When you take it off, you want to take it off and hold it so the brake pad's up and the lever's facing downwards, because your brake pad might fall out. Now, once you take it out, you will have a brake pad. Once you take this part off, after the whole thing's off, then you unscrew this, and the lever falls off. Then you will have two metal rods, which are the pistons in this case. They're called pistons. Now, those, if you would want to lube those up with any sort of lube would work, but I would also put rust protection in it, because those can rust up and that's very bad for your tractor. Now, once you lube up those, you'll flip it over on the other side, and there you will have your brake pad. You'll take your brake pad out, and then there will be a metal plating in behind it which protects it from the pistons. And if you don't have that metal plating there, the pistons will probably poke holes into your pad. That's why the metal plating's there, but it still works perfectly fine. So you would want to take off your brake pad, and you would want to exchange it for a new one, get a new one. And then what you want to do with the metal plating, if it's rusted, you would want to get a new one. And they're probably close to 15-20 bucks. Same with the brake pad, probably 25-20 bucks. Not that bad. And then you would lube that side of the pistons. Then once you have everything lubed up, you put your metal padding back in, metal plate back in, then your brake pads. Then what you want to do is screw on this lever again with that bolt there, and then you want to put it so the lever's facing out when you're putting it back in. Then you'd screw in this one and then that one. Then you would have to hook that spring up there again. That's the harder part of this, putting it back together. And then you want to make sure it's touching the brake disc. Now, I wouldn't personally lube up the brake disc unless it really, really needs it, because the lube can get in the transmission and screw certain things up. Now, I would do it myself personally, but some people might not want to. It's perfectly fine. But after you do that, everything will look perfectly. And then what you want to do is unscrew this again. Just gotta unscrew it. Just gotta get it going. If you hear your tractor creaking when you're creaking and sounds like it's gonna snap, no worries. It's probably just springs under there adjusting because you're putting weight back on it. Because when you put the jack up, it's lifting the whole frame, and most springs are relieved of pressure for a bit. So it's perfectly fine. Unless you hear a big snap, then you should be concerned. But yeah, that wouldn't be too good. But that is how you locate your brakes and replace your brake pads and lube up your brakes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and hope it'll help you with your lawn tractors. And yeah, catch you guys later.